game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Post-Game Pints podcast. My name is Mitch Gallo with Sean Campbell. As you can see, I'm at my usual location, my basement, and Campbell is outside somewhere, squinty-eyed, wearing the sunglasses. What's going on over there, buddy?
I'm in Tampa. I'm ready for the Cup final. I'm in Tampa Bay. I don't know where you are, man. Why aren't you with me in Tampa Bay? It's the Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the final. Like, why are you not here with me? I'm in Tampa.
You know, Campbell, just based on your background, Tampa isn't as nice as I remember it to be.
Really? Look, little lacrosse in the corner there. You got that? See, I bring the Lab series with me, courtesy of course, the Post Game Pints podcast brought to you by Lacrosse Brewery. Check it out. Brand new terrace, almost as nice as the terrace that I'm on right now.
Looking good, my friend. And by the way, in front of me right here.
Look at this terrace. It's got a unicorn.
That's a heck of a pool.
I know.
You see this?
Yeah.
This is my hockey.
Yeah, that's the Etude Brut. That is my favorite at Lacrosse, besides the Campbell play-by-play IPA.
See, it's funny, right? Because it says the beer is called Etude Brut, but I've been reading it for hockey season.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Beer.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm in Tampa. You're in Montreal, but it's Montreal and Tampa for the Stanley Cup final. And we have to put together a post-game pints Stanley Cup preview. Are you ready to do this?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be, I guess, because I have to say, Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup final is something I never thought I'd see.
It's quite amazing for the Canadiens, by the way, if you think about this, Mitch. They could go through the Leafs and Tampa Bay, the two top, and like if they went through the Bruins somehow, it would have been amazing. But they went through the Leafs and Tampa, if they go and win the Stanley Cup, by the way, they have not gone through Tampa Bay yet, to win the two division rivals, but also one of the best teams in the West in Vegas. They didn't get Colorado, but they got Vegas. And then, Winnipeg along the way. But if they go on and win the Stanley Cup, they did it through their division that never was a division this year. Like, there's so many stories here heading into the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, well, you know what, Sean? This is actually something I really like about this specific Stanley Cup final, because it's something we'll never see. Every year when you have the Stanley Cup final, every single year, it's between two teams that aren't familiar with each other and only play twice a year. That's every year. This year, not the same. It's two teams playing against each other that are rivals. Like, these teams have met in the Stanley Cup playoffs in recent memory. Now, I know a lot of the players are moving parts, but still, there was a good rivalry there at one point with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens, and now we get to see them face off in the Stanley Cup final. Sean, this, not to exaggerate, but this would be like the Yankees playing the Red Sox in the World Series.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
The Green Bay Packers playing against the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. Like, it's something that can never happen. You can't usually see two teams in the same division meet for the championship, but yet here we are. And you're right, they meet up with Toronto in the first round, Tampa Bay in the Stanley Cup final, almost bookends things. And just think, Sean, next season, if and when things return to normal, that division is going to be real tough. Boston's still going to be there. Toronto's going to be good. Tampa's going to be good. We saw what Florida was able to do without Ekblad. I think Ottawa is an up and coming team. They're going to be improved. We'll give them a couple of years, Sean. They're going to be better.
Not next year. And sorry, Buffalo, you're not good enough either.
Oh, I was even going to throw Detroit in as being an up and coming team, but Buffalo sucks. Buffalo's off.
Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa. You got nothing. But you're right. I think next regular season, whatever happens to the Canadians, it's going to be a battle to get in the playoffs. I do believe that they're not going to be like, oh, they got to the Stanley Cup final where they won the Stanley Cup. They're going to be a playoff team. No, that's not how the Canadians are built. You can see there's teams that get to the playoffs and there's teams that are built in the playoffs. And the Canadians are one of those teams that are built in the playoffs. And you're seeing that as they get into the final, facing the Tampa Bay Lightning. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's Montreal, Tampa Bay. There's going to be a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans in Tampa Bay with me since I'm in Tampa. Can't you tell? I'm in Tampa Bay. And they're going to be at the game, and it's going to be a good environment. But, I was joking with you before the playoffs started that Boston, Montreal Stanley Cup final, we were excited. That was a possibility. But you know what? This is a pretty good second possible Stanley Cup final between Montreal and Tampa Bay. So this is pretty neat. And here on the Post Game Pints podcast, we want to preview that Stanley Cup final.
Well, so many storylines going in. And I think you were the one that first mentioned the possibility of the Stanley Cup final being Boston against Montreal. Too bad it wasn't that, but still, you're right. We get a heck of a series between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. So when it comes to this preview, where do you want to start?
Well, why don't we go position by position? Forwards versus forwards, defense, and goalies versus goalies. Let's go reverse and start goalie versus goalie, because this is such an amazing storyline. Carey Price was known as the best goaltender in the NHL for years, and then Vasilevsky came along. And Vasilevsky's pretty much taken that. Vasilevsky is the best goalie in the National Hockey League, but Carey Price is playing like the best goalie in the National Hockey League. They both get paid millions of dollars. Who has an edge? Is there an edge here, Mitch?
I mean, it's two of the best goalies of all time, and they're going head to head. Is there an edge? I don't think so. This would be, and again, like Simon Silikas always uses his football analogies, and I'm sorry if I get caught up with the baseball analogies here, but this is like if I was watching two starting pitchers in their prime, and you're like, Mitch, game one of the World Series, it's Pedro Martinez against Randy Johnson. Who has the edge?
Pedro has the edge.
Yeah, I love Pedro.
Expos through and through.
Well, they're both Expos.
I know.
Yeah.
Shut up, but Randy wasn't an Expo. Shut up. Randy Johnson, you were not an Expo.
He was an Expo, Sean. Not as long, but I'm still proud of the fact that he played for the Expo. But again, it's I look at the two guys, I'm like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Both amazing. You go to it's like okay, I'll go the Simon Silikas route, and I'll go football. It's like it's the Super Bowl. You get Manning versus Brady. Who has the edge? Now maybe you go with Brady because of the championship experience, but still, it's the two best of their generation. You look at Crosby versus Ovechkin. Okay, you like Crosby better, but they're two of the best of their. When it comes to this position, though, Sean, I'm not going to just say they're both amazing and leave it at that. My belief is that if they both play to their maximum capabilities, I give the edge to Price. I think if Price plays as well as he can play, I don't even mean to make
that face, Mitch. I don't even mean to make that face. But here's the thing. Vasilevsky in series clinching games now has 4 shutouts in a row?
Oh, he's great. I'm not saying anything bad about Vasilevsky.
I know, but I know Montrealers are going to go, the edge is to Carey Price. I'm giving the edge to Vasilevsky. I'm sorry. And it's big game ability. It's who's done it lately. And this is nothing against what Carey Price has done or can do. But I'm not going to sit on the fence and say it's a push, Mitch. And you're not either. But when you're saying if they're both on top of their game and they're right there, I'm giving it to the younger Vasilevsky. And I think he has and this is not a slight on Price, which everyone's going to take as a slight on Price. And you're saying it's not a slice on Vasilevsky. But if you're asking what the edge is, like, I'm going with a little bit of youth. I'm going with the been there, done that. He's a champion. I'm going with Vasilevsky, edge over Carey Price heading into the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I'm okay with you saying that. And again, they're both amazing, so it's hard to talk badly about one or the other.
And I'm not talking bad. I'm just talking good about one.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned the youth for Vasilevsky, and certainly I'm not going to discount that, but I will say there's a lot more miles on Vasilevsky from last year into this year throughout the season, where Carey Price has played less hockey.
Good point. And Carey Price gained a little bit more rest heading into the final than Vasilevsky, who had to really push for that game 7. Okay, let's go to defense. Who has the edge on defense? Montreal, whose defense core has been outstanding through the first 3. Like, I don't know if, we've talked about how good that defense core was all season long and how good they should be, but now they're showing how good they are. And now they're heading into a final against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Which defense core do you give an edge to?
Well, all right. People aren't going to like this, but I'll go by pairings. Okay, so Sherratt Weber, versus Hedman and Ruta.
Okay,
I'm going to go with Hedman and Ruta. Hedman's the best defenseman in the darn league. Okay, so I'll take the best defenseman, and he's going to log more minutes probably than anybody else in the series.
Quick question for you: if I said Hedman McDonough, Hedman Sergachev, Hedman Savard, Hedman, like if I give you Hedman and any other Tampa Bay defenseman, are you still taking that pairing?
Yes.
Okay, continue. I was just checking with you. Please continue, because you know what I'm talking about.
And feel free to disagree with me at any point.
Comment down below if you're listening on SoundCloud, Spotify, or wherever, or YouTube.
Can you do me a favor and stall for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
Because my laptop, I just realized I haven't had it plugged in. Okay. And we gonna die.
Okay, so you go fix that up, and what I'll say is I think that you could 100% go with Hedman and whoever on that blue line, because I am with you when it comes to the pairings, and you're talking about Weber and Sherratt, which is the Montreal's top pairing. If you want to go Edmondson and Petrie as your top pairing, that's okay, but I still don't think that compares with what the Tampa Bay Lightning do with their top pairing. And Hedman, and you could pair them up with whoever you want. And everyone's going to go, Jan Ruda. Who's Jan Ruda? Jan Ruda knows how to play defense. So that is still an elite top pairing with Jan Ruda and Victor Hedman. So I am not, Mitch, I like to disagree with you. I am not disagreeing with you on that top pairing. So go second pairing, Mitch.
All right, second pairing, we have Jeff Petrie and Joel Edmondson against Ryan McDonough and Eric Cernak.
Yeah. Cernak, by the way, see, same thing I just said about Ruda. People don't understand how good he is.
No. I think Cernak is one of those guys. He's better than Ruda, and he doesn't get enough credit.
Oh, no. And McDonough and Cernak, I think this is one that maybe the Canadians have an edge on. I think McDonough is unbelievable, and we know he's a former draft pick with the Montreal Canadiens. But I think this is the pairing where the Canadians might have an edge, McDonough and Cernak. And I'm with you. I think Cernak is actually better than Ruda, but I think Hedman's like way up here. But Petrie and Edmondson as a second pairing, that's a top pairing. That is a top pairing. The Canadians almost have 2 top pairings. So I might give the edge to the Canadians here. I don't know if you do.
I'm going to say it's a wash. I think Petrie is the best offensive defenseman of any of the 4 we just named. I think McDonough is probably the most solid defenseman of any of the ones we just named. I think Cernak and Edmondson are probably comparable when it comes to physicality and imposing themselves in a game. So I'm gonna say it's a wash. I'll say it's equal. Okay.
I'm gonna give a slight edge to Montreal on that one.
Montreal.
A slight. Sorry, Montreal. Now we get now here. So third pairing, Savard and Sergachev. Versus Maron Gustafsson. But it's not fair because the Canadians don't play Maron Gustafsson together. So you have to put Gustafsson and Weber or Merrill and Petrie, because I think that's where the Canadians might have an edge, is because they don't play together. But if you put Gustafson and Weber versus Sergachev and Savard, the Canadians, I think, have an edge.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's worked for the Canadians the way they've deployed their defensemen. You know, we're seeing Gustafson play games of 7 to 10 minutes. Merrill, they'll use him a little bit more than Gustafson and play him with different defensemen at different times. So it's kind of hard to just say straight up third pair versus first pair and third pair in a combination. It's complicated. So I'll just say, all in all, I think Tampa Bay has the better defense.
Okay. So let's move to the forwards. And by the way, I think Tampa Bay has the better defense too. And I do think it's almost a push. It's almost a push. And like the goalies, I'm giving the slight edge to Vasilevsky, but I'm giving the slight edge to Tampa Bay on the defense. That's 2 for 2 for Tampa Bay for me. Forwards, Mitch. Yeah. And the forwards have taken a different look now. Yoel Armia is out with COVID, which mind blown here.
We'll see where that goes, right? He didn't travel with the team to Tampa Bay, but you know, maybe it's a false positive. Maybe he's on a charter the next day. Like there's too much we don't know.
Yeah.
But yes, that fourth line for Montreal has been great. Armia has been a big part of it. Evans practiced on that line today. So let's be under the assumption that Evans plays game 1 when we do our breakdown here, okay?
Okay, that's fine. But I think, and I love Evans. You know I do. But for what Yoel Armia does, that's a huge downgrade for the Canadians.
He's different. They don't play the same style.
If you ask me Evans for Lehkonen or Evans was playing for Byron, but Evans for Armia, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it, Mitch.
Totally with you. Armia was just such a nice fit on that line. They had great chemistry, and they're just different. And now Evans, you know, he plays with a little more pace and good Stahl and Perry, where Armia was kind of at the same pace. They all use their reach and their bodies to protect the puck. It's just, it changes everything. But let's start scoring line versus scoring line. All right, I know the Dano Gallagher line is in the matchup game, but let's say, okay, Suzuki, Toffoli, Caulfield against Platt, Point, and Kucherov.
It's not close, Mitch. It's not close. I'm sorry. I know everybody. You know how I feel about Nick Suzuki. And Tyler Toffoli will do what Tyler Toffoli does. But is Tyler Toffoli the top point getter on the Canadians? Nick Kucherov? Is he Nikita Kucherov?
No, I mean, Nikita Kucherov is a 120-point player.
It's not close. If you're going mano a mano, and I know that's not going to be the one-on-one matchup that the Canadians are going to have, but Mitch, it's not close. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not close.
No,
Tampa,
I know.
By a mile.
I'm with you, Tampa by a mile, and just because we're comparing the lines.
Oh no, I know what you mean, but I want you to know that, and I think you know what I mean. It's not close.
All right. Line 2, let's say it's Dano, Gallagher, and Lehkonen against Killorn, Cirelli,
and Stamkos. It's not that close either, Mitch.
I think when you look at that line,
it's closer.
Yeah, I think when you look at that line, Cirelli is, again, one of the most underrated guys in the league. I don't think people know how good Cirelli is. You look at Dano and all the credit he gets defensively. Cirelli is as good as Dano is defensively, but has a lot more offense than Dano does. That line concerns me a bit. Let's go to the next line, Sean. And this is where I think the Canadians might have a little bit of an edge. You have Goudreau, Gourde, and Coleman against Kotkaniemi, Anderson, and Byron.
All right, go ahead. You go on this one.
Well, I think this is where the Canadians have an edge as far as breaking down the lines against each other. I think that Byron brings the speed. Kotkaniemi has the size and the offensive abilities, and Anderson's the power forward. I think the Tampa Bay third line is more of a shit-disturbing line. They're going to be in on the forecheck. They're not going to be fun to play against. but I don't think they add as much to a game offensively and in different areas, penalty kill, power play, like the three I just named for the Canadians. Kotkaniemi factors in on the power play, so does Anderson. Byron on the penalty kill really raises their speed quotient too. I just feel like the three guys for Tampa Bay, they play a role and they're good players, and I like them. I just think if I'm talking about the impact that the two lines can have, I'm going to give the edge to the Canadians line.
Okay. I'll give the edge to the Canadians if the Canadians get good Kotkaniemi.
Right. Yeah.
If they don't get good Kotkaniemi, because I know I'm going to get good Yanni Gord. I know I'm going to get good Goudreau. I know I'm going to get good, I know what I'm going to get from Anderson and Byron. It's very simple. They're simple hockey players. Kotkaniemi is maybe the most complicated player to ever play for the Canadians since. Who's the most complicated player you ever seen for the Canadians play? I know it's Kotkaniemi, but who's the most complicated player to play for the Canadians ever since Kotkaniemi?
That's a good question.
Right?
I'd have to start thinking back to some of the guys that have played for the Montreal Canadiens. Complicated.
Yeah, because Kotkaniemi is a complicated hockey player.
He does, and I've tried to explain this on TSN 690, and people get mad. They're like, "Why are you always picking on Kotkaniemi?" I'm like, "I'm not picking on him. I'm like, he just does things on the ice where I wonder why he does them."
Yeah.
It's like he has a unique hockey sense. I'm not saying it's a bad hockey sense. It's just he's unique in the way he thinks the game.
I'm trying to think, and I said that question without knowing an answer, by the way.
Comment maybe below. What are your questions of the day?
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so and then let's move to the fourth line. All right. I think without R&B, the Maroon Johnson. Maroon Johnson. Can you help me out? Colton Ross Colton. I'm still going to give it the Habs. You know what? I'm still going to give it to the Habs on that one. I
like that. Sean, I like the little guy, so maybe that's why I'm going to say I like Tyler Johnson a lot. He was a premier offensive player in this league for a long time now. He's playing a bit of a different role, but I'm with you. I give the edge to the Canadians.
Okay, so that's forwards, that's defense, that's goalies. That's our breakdown.
All right, Mitch. So we got to get to it now. Okay. So
who do you have?
Well, I was going to say, who do you have? Are you sticking with your pick, or are you changing your mind?
No, Mitch, I can't change my mind.
Well, you can change it. Who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup based on all the information you have right now?
Tampa Bay.
You still think Tampa Bay?
Look, before the playoffs started, picked Tampa Bay. Nothing that has happened in these playoffs has made me change my mind. And it has nothing to do with what the Canadians have done. It has everything to do with what the Tampa Bay Lightning have done. And everything that the Tampa Bay Lightning have done is exactly what I thought they were going to do. Okay. And that is win games 8-0. Game 7, elimination, 1-0. Oh, you need to squeeze out a 2-1 game. Could do it. Oh, we're down. Oh, we had some power plays. 6-4. Tampa Bay is the best team in the National Hockey League, and they will win back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Huh. All right. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Don't apologize to me. You know I have no skin in this game.
I know you.
However, I'll tell you that I have no idea who's going to win. Obviously, as you don't. So I guess it's not saying a lot. But for my pick, I am going to say two things here, because I think logic says that if I put the two rosters up against each other, the Tampa Bay Lightning are the better team. Mm-hmm. However, if I put up the Leafs roster against the Canadiens roster, I thought the Leafs were the better team. And when I put up the Jets roster against the Canadiens roster, I thought the Jets were the better team. And when I put the Vegas Golden Knights roster up against the Montreal Canadiens roster, I thought the Vegas Golden Knights were the better team. So the better team on paper doesn't always win, because the game isn't played on paper, it's played on the ice.
Oh, by the way, on that, I don't want to interrupt your thing. Fine. I picked the Habs to beat the Leafs, I picked the Habs to beat the Jets, and I picked the Habs to beat Vegas. So I just want you to say, so you know that. And you thought I was pandering. I was not pandering when I made those. Continue.
And as you know, I picked the Canadians to beat the Jets.
Mm.
I did pick them to beat the Leafs for the Knights, though. But
I did.
yeah, I know you did. So the game isn't played on paper; it's played on the ice.
Absolutely.
I think that the Canadians have this feel of being a team of destiny.
There's something
Sometimes
about
a
that.
team-
There's something about that.
there's just a team that gets on a roll and they don't stop until they win the Stanley Cup. The Canadians, to me, feel like that team. And I think that the team that plays most similar to the Canadians out of anybody in the playoffs is the New York Islanders. And the New York Islanders took the Lightning to Game 7 and lost by 1 goal. So I think the Canadians are slightly better than the Islanders.
I like where you're
I
going
think
here.
that slightly better is the difference between losing 1-0 in Game 7 and winning 2-1 or 1-0 yourself in Game 7. So I'm going to take the Montreal Canadiens to win the series, Sean, because I think they are a team of destiny. And I think the one thing that will make a big difference for Tampa Bay is how difficult it truly is to win the Stanley Cup and to do it in back-to-back years. We saw the Pittsburgh Penguins do it pretty recently, and before that, we had to go all the way back to Detroit. It's hard to win. It's hard to go to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. That's something we don't see. So the role that the
Tampa,
Lightning
for
are on
that.
is impressive.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say because of the miles, because of how hard it was to win last year, because all the bounces can't go your way in 2 straight playoffs, and because of the fact that I think the Canadians are just a team of destiny, I'm going to take the Canadians to win the series.
All right, and Mitch, I get everything that you're saying because I kind of feel a little bit what you're talking about. So I did throw this out on Twitter. I know you saw my Twitter today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this on the podcast. I'm going to say this on the air on TSN 690. Look, I can't go against what I thought was going to happen before the playoffs and switch mid. I thought Tampa was winning the Stanley Cup. Now Tampa's playing Montreal. Did I think Montreal was going to play Tampa in the Stanley Cup final? No. I thought it was going to be Tampa and Colorado.
Okay.
So I feel like the fact that I took Tampa, Mitch, because I'm different. I feel like I should be punished if the Habs win. I took Tampa. So I'm looking for punishment ideas. And I'm going to turn to our podcast. I'm going to turn to TSN 690. I'm going to turn to Twitter at Sean R. Campbell. I'm going to ask for some punishment ideas. You have to get them in quick because game 1 is on Monday. But I will take those punishment ideas and the top 4 in different categories will go down. The worst one will be the Habs sweep. And then you have Habs in 5, whatever happens. I don't know. I don't know what the punishment idea is. I need to brainstorm, and I need our listeners, our viewers to help me brainstorm. So help me brainstorm at Sean R. Campbell. Check me out on Twitter. Check out Post Game Pints on Twitter. Punishments. Why? Look, I took Tampa. I'm not changing it. I know the Canadians are a team of destiny, Mitch. I know you can kind of feel it. You've seen it. They won 5 games in overtime. I know the Canadians in 93 won 10. 5 is insane.
Well, 5 is the second most. It's the second most all time in Canadians franchise history.
Which 5 is insane.
It's a big.
So
number.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm ready to be punished if the Canadians win. I'm from Montreal. I work the Habs post-game show. We do the 5-minute post-game shows on Post Game Pints. Check them out after every single game here on Post Game Pints podcast. I'm accepting the punishment. I said Tampa Bay before the playoffs started. I can't switch, Mitch. You know I can't. You know I wasn't going to. I'm sorry. I'm sticking with Tampa Bay over Montreal. Punish me if the Habs win. Send your comments below.
All right, Sean. On that note, I'll let you go. Enjoy the terrace. Enjoy
In
Tampa
Tampa?
Bay.
Yeah.
Try to get a tan.
Yeah, I know. There might be a Montreal hospital in the background here.
And for everybody listening, thank you for doing so. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all the things because we appreciate your support and we appreciate the support of La Brosse Brewery as well. the best beer you'll find anywhere in the city of Montreal.
Check out their draft. It's better than the one I'm on right now.
See you, Sean.
Later.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
No, 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 no.
Come on.
VBF.